This was a very hard category to narrow down, but this one smells amazing. These are leaning more on the Taiwan side, so welcome to the old club, between $15 and $20 if that's something you're into. Hey guys, welcome back to another sit-down video with me. I know it has been a while, but here we are, we're back in my room in the spot. I don't think much has changed since the last time I brought you guys here. Today we'll be going through my 2025 favorites. I did this last year and it was actually really fun, so I thought that I would bring this back and just go over things that I enjoyed this past year. And this video is very long overdue, but the categories I chose this year I think are a lot more fun and a lot more concise. So I hope this video is enjoyable to you guys, and let's get started. The first category for my favorites will be music/albums, and you guys know I love music. I listen to a lot of music almost 24/7, whether it's at work, when I'm taking a shower, when I'm getting ready, when I'm driving. I'm always listening to something on Spotify. This was a very hard category to narrow down, but I think I got my top 5. In no particular order, my first favorite album of this past year was Same Story, Different Narratives by The Crane. I recently got into Mandopop, and you guys know that I went to Taiwan this past year. As I was really thinking about that trip and planning it, I got really into music sung in Chinese, and The Crane was one of the first artists that I discovered, and I just fell in love with his music. I love his voice. It's so soothing. I think he has a very unique voice that's really nice to listen to, and his style of music, it's catchy, it's fun, you can really bump it in the car, it puts you in a good mood, but he also has really nice ballads that really soothe you, put you in your feels. And my favorite songs on this album, the first one is definitely Right Side of My Heart. That one is more of a ballad. I love the lyrics of that song. I just think that it sounds very Disney-like. When you listen to the instrumental and the intro of the song, it's feeling very magical and mystical, and you're just so soothed and so comforted by this very chill tune. And my second favorite song is Igloo. This one is more upbeat, more fun. It's very cute when you listen to the lyrics. It has such adorable and very lovable lyrics. And I think it's a very romantic song too. When I listen to the lyrics and it says, global warming all started just because of your smile. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole song. I recommend you guys listen to this album. And I think The Crane, he's not very internationally well known, at least from what I've seen. So I hope that more people can get to know his music and his vibes and just become fans of him. Moving on to the second album that I loved in 2025. This is Escape Room by Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor, she is a vocal powerhouse. I love her music. I was very surprised that she came out with an album. I didn't really keep up with her, but once I saw this album out, I was like, she's back. She is so back. This album, it really tells a story. And as you should with every new album you listen to it from start to finish. No shuffling, no anything of that sort. Just listen to it the way the artist intended you to listen to it. And the way that this album is set up, the songs are nestled between different narrative tracks. So there's people like Issa Rae, Sarah Paulson, Taraji P. Henson. You just hear their voices telling the story and just giving this point of view of the album's themes and really bringing everything together. And Tiana Taylor's vocals, all these songs, they're so great. There are a lot of upbeat ones. There's a few more R&B slow ones, but I think everything meshes well together, and I really enjoyed this album a lot. I think the songs are very sensual and you can really get into the vibe, and it really makes you want to move and dance around. My favorite songs from this, I really loved Hard Part, which is featuring Lucky Daye. I'm a big fan of Lucky Daye's vocals as well. I think that every song that he's been featured in, he never lets me down. So hearing him on this track, although his part was a bit shorter, I think that it was a nice combo of their voices together, and the song is very catchy. I love Tiana Taylor's vocals on this. I think she did amazing. And I also love the song called Long Time. This one is more upbeat. It has kind of a beat drop that makes you want to get up and move and dance. So they're both different contrasts of songs, but I love them both. Moving on to the third album, it is Chrysalis by Genevieve. Genevieve's music, I feel like she has such a unique style, and her voice is also very unique. And the way that she writes songs, they're super catchy. They're a bit on the groovy side, so you definitely hear that in all of her music. I've been hearing her songs a lot, and I've also heard the songs where she samples city pop songs. So that's kind of how I first heard of her and got into her. But this album, I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed, and I definitely wasn't. The album's a very good length, so you have different songs you can really get into and just pick what you like. Now for this album, it's a bit difficult for me to pick favorite songs, but the first one I would have to say is definitely Iron Lung. That one is a shorter song, but the way that the last bit of it goes, the last chorus and her ad-libs, I think that really stood out to me, and I love the melody. It's a very simple song lyrically, but you know, sometimes that's just all you need. I also really love Damage Control. That one lyrically is also very nice. And I will mention one more song from this album that I loved, and it is Beam Me Up. This one, a lot slower. It's giving kind of 90s vibes. I just love how she speaks about this kind of separation between her and her lover, and it's not super intense lyrics, but for me it really hit me hard because the way that she sings it and the way that the song really moves along and evolves as it goes on, I really connected with it. And now we're on to the fourth album, which is Paradigm by Christian Korea. Christian Korea is an artist that I have been hearing for a long time as well. I think the first time I ever heard his song was on 8 Tracks. If you guys remember 8 Tracks, welcome to the old club. But with Christian Korea, I think that in his songs, the guitar riffs and the guitar solos always get to me. I just love guitar solos in general, but I think he does a very good job just singing and building up to that point where you finally get to the guitar. And if you remember from my older vlogs, I actually did use the song Deep Green for my intro for a certain amount of time, so I'm a big fan. I would love to see him in concert someday, and I hope that that day will come soon. As for favorite songs, my first favorite is definitely Ride. The vocals in Ride are great. Guitar solo, as I mentioned, very nice. I think that he does a very good job going into falsetto using his head voice, so it's a good blend of, you know, his vocals. He's a very good vocalist in my opinion, and the song really captured me the first time that I heard it. And my second favorite, this one's really hard. Like, I just want to say every song on this album is my favorite, but I also really love Slow Fade. I think out of all the guitar solos on this album, Slow Fade definitely has my favorite one. And along with underrated artists, I still feel like he is very underrated, so if you haven't heard his music and you're into R&B with really strong instrumentals, I don't know how to really classify his genre of music precisely, but I think that, you know, give it a listen, see if you like it, but I do recommend it. And the last favorite album we have is Folks by Leon Thomas. I'm a big Leon Thomas fan. I just fell in love with all of his earlier music. It took me a while to figure out that he is Andre from Victorious, but once I figured that out, I was like, wow, this guy is so musically talented. Like, he is just on a different level, and with the release of this EP, I think he really set himself apart from every other artist that's doing this genre right now. It's also really hard to pick favorites from this album. I want to say all of them. My Muse really enraptured me the first time I heard it. Just the lyrics, I was like, I just fell in love with it. It's just amazing. And his ad-libs, like, can anyone really compete with him? It's just genius. I love trying to replicate his ad-libs and singing along with him when I'm listening to the songs. And I will pick one more favorite song from this album. Lately, I've really been loving Trapped. When you listen to those lyrics, you're just hit by the lyrical content of it. Also the instrumental and the vocal layering, I think that that song is just filled with such mastery of music production. So I would definitely say Trapped is my other favorite, but as I said, it's really hard to pick favorites from this album, this EP, because there's only a couple songs and you can just say they're all your favorites. Overall, give this a listen, and I guarantee if you're into R&B, if you love music, you will not be disappointed by this album at all. In our next category, you know I can't leave this out, it is definitely food. With food, I think in 2025, I didn't really try as many new places as I did in 2024, since I also didn't travel as much this year. So a couple of these are leaning more on the Taiwan side, since that was the one trip that I had in 2025. But first off, we have the tea from Chun Shui Tang. This one is a Taiwanese boba shop, actually the first ever boba shop. And I'm kind of mad that I don't really like milk tea, so neither my friend or myself got a milk tea. I just got a regular tea, and it was still good. The flavor is good. It wasn't too sweet, as we Asians like to say, it's not too sweet. So to me, I really enjoyed it. Being in Taichung during that time, that was my favorite part of the entire trip. It was very warm and I was sweating, so that was a very refreshing and cooling drink. And the next favorite dish is also from Taiwan. This is the beef noodle soup. I will say that this was the only beef noodle soup I had in Taiwan, so I don't know if it can get any better than this, but I think that this was very comforting just as it was. It was a little chilly when we went to Chef Fun, which is where we had it. I would like to try different beef noodle soups the next time I'm back in Taiwan. The meat was very tender, the noodles were very soft and had a great bite to it, vegetables were good. I just had no complaints whatsoever. I just felt like this is what I was supposed to be eating there, and I felt really accomplished that I got to try their national dish, and especially in such a beautiful place like Chef Fun. And moving on, we got the chimichurri steak, which is from a restaurant called The Local in Clovis, California. This one, it's actually a funny story. I was out with a couple of my friends and we were going to this event called the One Enchanted Night in Clovis. And although the event didn't really live up to my expectations, I thought that it was really funny how we came upon this restaurant as we were going through this entire event, seeing all the vendors, seeing the carolers, all the Christmas decorations, all the small businesses selling holiday items. We were deciding what to eat, talking about it, and we had set our sights on this one place, but surprisingly, the owner of The Local actually walked by and he convinced us to come to his restaurant, and he was like, yeah, our food's better than this place. And I support someone on the grind who hustles like that, so I was like, okay, we'll go try The Local. And to be fair, I have been here before, but it was for brunch, so their dinner was new to me. The food did take a while, but they were a little busy, so I understand. The chimichurri steak, amazing. Chimichurri sauce, I just love that, and to put it on steak, I was just in heaven and it was amazing. And we got the next item, which is the barbacoa tacos at the Hub. This one I actually went to with my coworkers. My boss actually treated us all out to lunch before we went off to our Christmas break. On this day, it was also very rainy. The wind was terrible. The door to the restaurant kept flying open and would let in water and wind. Everything that was set on the floor, like chairs and signs, was tipping over outside. So the fact that we still went here surprised me, but the food was good. It was technically still the middle of the workday since we all got out at around 12-ish and went here for lunch before going home. So at the restaurant, there wasn't too many people, but what's funny is that there was another group of guys and they were already drinking at 12 p.m. And this one guy comes over with his drink and he was like, "Merry Christmas, ladies," and he's a little tipsy, but it was really funny. I felt like that was a nice like human connection, like just sharing the holiday spirit and the sentiments. And these tacos are very good. The meat was very tender. The taco was filled with meat. The sauce was good. When you see 2 tacos, I feel like that's not standard, but honestly, I felt like that was enough. 2 is all you need as it's filled with so much food. So I was very full by the end of that, but I really enjoyed that meal. And the last meal is the bibimbap and tofu soup at Naju Tofu. This is also a local place, and I've actually been here like 5 times by now because I just love their food and their soup so much. I think this is like the only place where you can get really good tofu soup in Fresno. And they also have bibimbap. They have solontang, which I have not tried yet, but next time I go, I will definitely try that because it's really rare that they have something like that here in town. So I will definitely give it a try next time and I will report back. Maybe that dish will pop up in my 2026 favorites, so we'll see. I really like tofu soup. I should really try and make it at home, but I love getting it here because they just make it so well and it's just so warm. So tofu soup, amazing, and you can pick if you want to do a combo with bibimbap or you can do it with bulgogi. I think they have some other stuff you can also combine it with, but it is a lot of food. You get a good portion for such a good price, so I definitely recommend this place and you guys should definitely go there, eat to your heart's content, and just enjoy the warm vibes. And next, moving on to the beauty category. I split beauty and skincare this time, so this is going to be strictly beauty, which in my translation is makeup. And my first favorite of 2025 is definitely the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I usually didn't wear foundation that much before. I was more of a skin tint person, but I actually got this before I went to Taiwan because I heard that it's very good for oily skin. It stands up to humidity great, and I will say that it definitely held up in all my sweat and all the walking, and it says it's 24 hours all day wear. I definitely believe that. I think that my makeup does not budge when I wear this, and yeah, it is a little expensive. This was like $52, but when I'm using this, I don't use a big pump. I just do like a little dollop and I do a light layer on top of my skin. I think this will last me for a long time, so the $52 will be worth it. Another product I loved is the Hourglass Spanish Airbrush Concealer. This one I have heard mixed reviews on, and I was really looking for concealers that I really fell in love with. I've tried NARS, I've tried Tower 28. I think the NARS one really dries me out and it isn't that easy to work with. And the Tower 28, it's a lot on the oily oilier side, so for my oily skin, I don't think that it's compatible with it. But this one, I actually really love this one. I think that it's very high coverage. It's easy to work with, doesn't dry down too quickly. You can really build it up if you need to. But I think just one layer is enough for my skin. And I can't really say if this creases as I don't conceal my under eyes, but everywhere else, like in between the folds of my nose, I don't really notice any creasing. So yeah, I would recommend this if you have oily skin. And the last beauty product is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I think everyone uses this and everyone has very good things to say about this, and I am definitely one of them. I think that there is no other lip product that you can put on and go to sleep with that will keep it moisturized all night long. And this also is very pricey. I think this is probably $26 for this small thing, but you just use a little bit of it per night. So I think that it's very long lasting. You're not gonna really run out of it too fast unless you use it every hour of the day, which you should not do in my opinion. But this one smells amazing. It smells just like gummy bear. I wish you guys could smell it right now. It's just like smelling candy and I love it so much. And now we're moving on to the skincare category. You guys know that I'm really big on skincare. I try to take really good care of my skin. I get monthly facials. I am very into anti-aging stuff now that I'm getting older. So although I don't really try a lot of skincare products, there are times where I feel like something could be better or I need to target the specific problem that I'll really add in and research like what products to get. Which leads me into our first item, which is the Anua Azelaic Acid Serum. This one has a very pretty green color, and I got this because I wanted to really help with my redness. I used to get a lot of redness between my nose and also on my chin area, but I think this has really calmed it down a lot. I don't think I really get as red as I did before, and this is really easy to use. You just use it as your first step after you shower and cleanse your face as a dropper. I think this is a very light and not harsh product you can add to your routine. And then I also really love the Gick sheet mask. This one comes in a pack, which I love. It isn't individually wrapped. I used to buy my sheet masks in bulk, so they would send like 100 of these sheet masks and they would all be individually packaged, which was very wasteful. I was trying to move away from that, and this one is just one bag full of sheet masks, no individual packaging or anything. You just open this pouch, you take out a sheet mask, put it on your face, close it, and you just have this one thing. It's very easy to carry around when you're traveling also. You don't have to like take up a lot of space, you just have this one thing that lays very flat in your suitcase. I think they make 3 versions of this. I tried the blue one, I don't remember what it's called, but I think I like this green one more. This is the Centella one, and the mask is green, which I really like. When they're white, it's like, okay, that's normal, but when it's different color, I am very fascinated by that. But I just think that this mask, it fits my face very well. A lot of sheet masks are a little big or a little small, but this one, I think that it is the only sheet mask to really cover my entire face, and it stays on. It's very moisturizing. It's very saturated in the serum as well. With other sheet masks that I've tried, I've experienced where some parts are just dry and not filled with serum, but this one is very evenly coated, so I would recommend this. And it comes in bulk. It's not very pricey. I think I would definitely keep purchasing this item time and time again. And I don't know if the next one will come as a surprise, but it is another set of sheet masks. This one is from Adobe, but it is a collagen gel mask. So this one's a lot thicker. I was really into that whole thing where people were letting their collagen masks dry completely, but the ones that they get are like $20–30 for 4 pieces, which I am not into right now. So I got this one from Adobe. This one, I think it was like between $15 and $20, and there's 10 in here, so that is better than like 4 for 30. And I use this on days where I feel like my skin needs extra help. So the other ones I'll use them normally, but if I feel like my skin is dry or I'm having some breakouts, I'll put this on. It's very moisturizing. The layers of the sheet mask are very thick. And honestly, I haven't used this to the point where it dries clear because I just don't keep my sheet mask on for that long, but I do really like this. I want to try all the other versions that they have because they have a few different ones. The last one I tried was the white one. I still can't remember the names. I would really recommend this. I think that it is a good addition to your routine if you're just looking for some extra moisture here and there, and it's just nice to have on hand. And now that I think about it, all these products are green, so all my skincare product favorites in 2025 turned out to be green. I'm actually very excited for this next category, as I now have different entries to tell you guys about. But now we're moving into the games category. With games, I grew up playing games. I used to be a streamer, so video games still really play a big part of my life, and it's a nice hobby that I like to indulge in. I like to play things that are mostly relaxing. For games, I don't like to play to be challenged. That's not what I play games for personally. One game I liked in 2025 was Signalis. This one really caught my attention. I think because I first heard about it, I was interested in it already, but then I heard it was queer and I was like, okay, now I have to get into it since I just love queer stories so much. But another intriguing point of this game is that it is Resident Evil inspired. You have a little bit of the same mechanics, just in different ways. You have the 6 inventory item slot, you have the undead zombies, and you can look over items to find clues within them. And I also really love sci-fi, so I knew that going into this, I was gonna enjoy it no matter what. The story really leaves you thinking. It's a little open-ended, which I think most people don't really like in general. But for this one, you do see a lot of video essays of people talking about the ending and speculating what character did this or what happened to this character or what unfolded during these events. There's just so much to talk about, so much to figure out, and I think that with this kind of style of media, it really makes you think about it and you come to your own conclusion. The music in this is also very great. It matched the atmosphere really well, as this is also a horror game. It is a bit spooky. I'm not super good with horror, but I'm trying to get better at it, so you might get a little jump scared here and there, but as it is a pixel game, things are more far away, so you wouldn't get jump scared like in your face. When I played this at night, I got a little spooked at times. I had to pause, I had to save. With a lot of horror games, you don't really save whenever you want. You have to find a safe room and save in there. So I was really trying to stay alive. I really played the game like at half health. And personally, I only got one ending myself, since I don't really replay the game if the endings are accomplished by performances. So if it's like you have to complete the game under 2 hours or something to get this ending, like I never attempt that because that's just not fun to me. But I did watch other endings on YouTube and I know the story and I have my own conclusions. And for my next game, I technically haven't finished this game yet as I played it incorrectly, is the Silver Case. I actually had never heard of this game until a week before I bought it and played it, but it was featured in one of those TikTok videos where people were talking about older game aesthetics, and I love the old PS2 vibe. I just saw this game on Steam, I bought it, I was intrigued by the premise of it because I love mysteries, I love solving problems within games. You're supposed to play the placebo segments in between the transmitter ones, which I did not know. I wish I knew that beforehand, because now that I finished all of transmitter, I have to go through all of placebo. And I remember what happened, but just going through the journalist's point of view, he is an interesting character, but I also low-key don't really care about him. But I know that, you know, he's important to the plot and he played a big role in that overall plot line. But yeah, I'm slowly working my way through all the placebo parts of the game. You're just in the apartment most of the time, so you're not exploring like you are when you're playing the transmitter parts. So that's why it's a little slow for me, but I know that it's important for the narratives and I will finish it eventually. Next up is Split Fiction. I'm a big fan of Hazelight. I think that they make very fun co-op games. I played A Way Out, I played Takes Two, so Split Fiction was something that I knew I was going to play eventually, and I finally did in 2025. I think this definitely is their best game. It calls back to a lot of other video games, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in there that you can really catch if you're a seasoned gamer. And I think that the split screen mechanic in this is very unique. There are certain points where Mio has to switch over to Zoe's side, or Zoe has to switch over to Mio's side of the screen. So it's nice just like going through these different environments. So what one person sees, the other person might not see on their side, but it is cool to see how these things mesh together. And because of the concept of this game where they're in this virtual world and there's just different levels and different environments, they really got to play with a lot of different game mechanics and different game modes. You really get the best of everything when you play this game. My favorite environments, there's just so many good ones, but the cyberpunk one definitely, because I love sci-fi, I think that that one was my favorite one. But the one with the dragons was also fun, and getting to ride the dragons and fight the dragons. So grab your partner, grab your friend, grab your sibling, grab your parent, grab anyone who will play with you, and definitely get this game. I think that you will love it as much as I do. Moving on to Bokuda. I played both the first Bokuda and Bokuda Planet in 2025. Honestly, the plot lines of those are kind of jumbled to me, but I really liked both of them. In Bokuda 1, you don't see what the other player sees, which is funny. So for these games, you don't see the other person's screen, so you're really having to walk the other person through what to do in order for you to move your character on your side. So it's really a test of communication communication, how well you guys work together. A very good team building exercise if I do say so myself. There are some puzzles that are a little bit confusing or some that look complicated but are actually very simple. So don't feel bad if you have to look up a guide just to get through one thing. There were some parts with symbols that my friends and I didn't really understand that we had to look up tutorials for. Overall, I think the game is still very enjoyable. The storyline is great, the music is great, and it really shocks you what's going on within these stories and these plot lines. And the last game I will mention is actually an otome game, and not just any otome game that I usually talk about on my channels. It is actually Homicipher. This one actually blew up in the otome game community, or at least from what I saw. When they say otome, I wouldn't say that it's like super rooted into like the romance or the separation of each root, but it definitely has romance vibes, and it does get romantic at some parts and some endings. In this game, it's really a matter of deciphering what these characters are saying to you. As you're in a different area, they're speaking a language that you do not understand, so you're having to use context clues. You have to click on each word, type in what you think it means, and you're just building up your dictionary in order to understand all the other characters and just pick the right option when it comes to branching paths or whether you die or not. This is a horror game, so there are a few jump scares, and at parts things do get very loud and you can't really anticipate it as this jump scare. The game is very point and click. You don't really have to move around yourself. You're just like picking what direction to go, picking what to say, and just trying to survive and get back to where you were. There are a few love interests in this game, but my most favorite definitely is Mr. Crawling. I think that although he can't walk on his two legs really, and he's crawling as his name suggests, he's very protective, he's very loyal, very loving, and there wasn't a moment within the game where I didn't trust him. He's like one of the first people you meet when you play the game, and I just felt not alone whenever he was by our side in the game. And I also love his ending. I think it's very sweet, and yeah, Mr. Crawling is my favorite. I love him. Secondly, I will say that my second favorite is Mr. Hood. I don't think I got too much of him, especially since he's not a prominent character in the main part of the story, but he does carry you around if that's something you're into. He's also very protective as well. I think I just love protective people, and unlike a lot of the other love interests, he didn't freak me out, so I actually liked him a lot. And the third love interest, I don't know why I'm picking three, but I would say that this one's a bit questionable, but I actually really liked Mr. Silver as well. He is a bit creepy. I don't really trust him, but we'll just leave it at that. And the final category is books. I did not have a good reading year last year, as you guys know. I didn't really do any other reading wrap-ups after I did the first quarter one, which means I only read 5 or 6 books last year, which for me, it's not terrible, but that was not my goal at all. So this year I'm definitely bumping it down a bit just to not stress myself out about it. But my first favorite, I guess you can already tell what this is. It is a Taiwan travelogue by Yang Shuangzi. This is the book that started my year last year. I fell in love with it. It pushed me to go to Taiwan, and I'm so surprised I went to Taiwan in the same year that I finished that book. I just fell in love with that country, and you know, just being there and seeing some of the things that they talked about, eating the food that they talked about within the book. That book, the sapphic storyline, just these two characters, such unlikely characters. There's a bit of a power dynamic between them, but you know, it really encompasses such a well-rounded story, and the ending's bittersweet. I love it so much. And this book definitely skyrocketed and ended up in my all-time favorites list. The second book is Homeseeking by Carissa Chen. This one follows the story of Haiwan and Suchi as they are lovers separated by time and war. This one really brought me to my feels. It is a longer book, so you're following 2 different timelines. One, the present timeline when they're all grown up, and one, the timeline when they met and started dating and went through school together, leading up to the point where they're like separated by the war and everything. So you're following these 2 different points in time, and I really felt for these characters. I just wish that things could have been different for them and they just would have had such an easier life together. It definitely brought me to tears at times, but I really enjoyed this book. It is on the longer side, so you're really immersing yourself into this time period and just the feelings of these characters as you really get to know them and grow up with them. But I think it's worth the read, and I would really recommend it. And lastly, the book that I enjoyed in 2025 was Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This one was an anticipated read for me. I think I read this at a bad time though, because I was really getting busy during the time of year that I started this book, so I actually left it on hold for a very long time. But I finally finished it last year and I just loved it. I think that you really learn a lot about this time in history as Cyrus talks about his family, his upbringing, his mother, and his adventures to New York City. And as you're following Cyrus, you really get into his mind since he's narrating the story. He wants his life to have meaning and he wants to really learn about why people live and why they choose to do the things that they do. My favorite POVs in this book, I think first and foremost, I really love Cyrus's mother's POV, Roya. I think that her part of the story really spoke to me. Just her struggles with being a mother and just not being super in love with her husband. Like there's a life that she really wanted that she really couldn't have. As I was reading her parts, I really felt for her and I just loved reading her thoughts and what she went through and just sympathizing with her. As Kaveh Akbar is a poet first and foremost, I think that the writing in this book is very lyrical and you're just so enraptured in the language that he uses. So for the flowery language, I love how he portrayed these sentiments and the words that he chose to use to talk about how Cyrus felt and just how the world around him looks. And this ending, it's also more on the open-ended side, so you can really come up with your own conclusion. But I liked it. I definitely have come up with my own conclusions to the story. And overall, the book, I think, really touched me and really made me feel a lot of emotions. And that is all for my 2025 favorites. There are a lot less categories as I mentioned earlier, but I think that this year I got to fill up a lot of categories with more items I couldn't last year. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know what videos you guys want to see, what your 2025 favorites were, and if there's anything you love that you want me to check out, let me know below and I will see you guys next time. Bye!